Hello, everyone. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about the models of magic and focus a little bit upon the spirit model for just a moment. So, the spirit model. And today I wanted to talk about nurturing those connections that nurture you. A lot of times when we deal with magic and things, people are just seeking after power. But I think a lot of this is about making positive connections with those things that nurture you, that bring clarity and abundance and peace and joy to your life. So there are different models of magic that different people operate upon. The mainstream today in modern magic seems to be based upon the consciousness and the energy models. And then there's a third model, the spirit model, which tends to be prevalent in ancient religions, whether it be ancient pagan religions or whether you're working with angels or demons. Some magicians, some people work with ATRs or African traditional religions, whether it's voodoo or Santeria, Lukumi, Palo. There's different traditions, Espiritismo. So, or whether you're working within a Celtic or whatever pantheon, or you're working with Shem angels, this operates under the classical spirit model. And if you look at ancient pagan religions, for example, the Druids, or if you look at the Babylonians or the Egyptians, there were they were based around making contacts with a particular entity and a transaction, making an offering and receiving something. So you see this in the classical, whether it's Egyptian or Babylonian or Greco-Roman, these different traditions, or it works under the spirit model. Contact an entity and you get the entity to work for you. So, and again, this video is focusing more upon the spirit model, which you see throughout the grimoires. You don't see a lot of meditation in the grimoires. You don't see them focusing on harnessing chi or whatever in the grimoires. So, and I'm not saying that any one model is right or wrong, but I'm just throwing this out there as another perspective. So, breaking down these three models of magic real quick, and then we're going to put emphasis on the spirit model, and in particular nurturing those positive connections that bring clarity and abundance and peace and love into your life. So, first of all, what is the consciousness model? Pretty much anyone that's picked up a book on magic, people starting off especially nowadays, they pick up a book on magic. Mentalism is essentially the consciousness model, is that thoughts are things, thoughts can impact reality. Okay. At one extreme, you have like The Secret or the law of attraction type of thing. The second model is the energy model, which these kind of fall into each other. The energy model is the idea that it has to do with energy or life force. In China, they may call it qi. Some may call it mana. Qi, ki, and Yoruban tradition, they call it ache or ashe, the energy. So, and a maxim is that thought, energy follows thought. Now, this sounds super new age to some traditional workers that have kind of rejected this, but I don't think we should throw out any one worldview. That would be dogmatic. But so the consciousness and energy model. The energy model is that it's focusing intention and energy. And energy follows thought. So again, the consciousness and energy models. Now the third model is the spirit model, which says that there are other consciousnesses out there with energy. So different consciousnesses. I'm an organism, you're an organism. Anyone watching this video, you're not me. We're individual consciousnesses that have energy. So the idea is that some consciousnesses have more energy available, more power available than others. So now again, if you look at whether it's the grimoires working with angels or archangels, or whether you're working with demons, or whether you're working within a polytheistic framework, working with Celtic or Nordic or African or Babylonian, Egyptian, whatever selection of spirits, that works under the spirit model. So now, sometimes I need to bring this up because sometimes people tend to, in my opinion, overstep. People tend to see consciousness, and we have a consciousness energy model bias in our modern occult movement. Whether that's correct or wrong, that's up for each individual to decide. No one else can think for you. In my opinion, it's overdrawn when people tend to think of spirits as nothing more than thought forms or just a part of their unconscious. That's just my own opinion, but some people even in my opinion, overreach. Some people look at spirits as thought forms and just part of your own consciousness. My view is, just like the visible world is full of entities and people, in the same way the spirit world is full of entities and people. However, as above, so below, as within, so without. Just because entities may exist outside of us, just like different organisms, there may be invisible entities that we can establish contact with and are ready to help humanity. So these are the three basic models, okay? The energy, consciousness, and spirit model. Now, the spirit model, there are different classes of spirits. Okay, and in Agrippa, which I'm going to go back to the readings of the 3 books of occult philosophy, Agrippa divides these, and it's pretty common. You have the divine, then you have the celestial or astrological realm, and then you have the earthly or chthonic realm. Okay, so these 3 classes, and there's other ways to look at these. Some would say land, sea, and sky. There's a lot of different ways to do this. But often it's under a 3-tiered model. Closest to Earth, we have elementals. Some would say spirits of the dead could be chthonic underworld entities. So necromancy, elemental spirits, which you have to be very careful with, elementals. And a lot of, in grimoires and stuff, a lot of times you'd say that demons are closest to the earth, either chthonic or aerial spirits, either way. So the energies that are closest to us, not always, often they're seen to be, can be more dangerous. For whatever reason, the closer and that's not always true. But you have these earthy energies that are closest to us. They tend to be very quick, very rapid. But often when dealing with things like elemental spirits, dealing with the dead, for those of you that work with necromancy, dealing with the shades of the dead, dealing with elementals, dealing with things like that, not always, but sometimes, things can go wrong very quickly. The second level up, the astrological spirits, spirits of the planets, spirits of Mars or Saturn or Jupiter or the Sun, spirits of the deacons, things like that. These entities, also, you can have problems with them. They could be a little chaotic, but you can kind of calculate a little better what is going on in the heavens when you work with them, right? There's certain protocols. Then you have the divine realm, and I'm trying not to overgeneralize, but you have to remember I'm lumping spirits into 3 categories. It's not going to be perfect, right? But usually when you're dealing with the divine, the highest divine realm, oftentimes, not always, things tend to be more clear and just abundance, and from a higher level, like trying to watch out for evolution, things like that. I wanted to talk about spiritual guides. This is something that puts a bad taste in many people's mouths, but because there's a lot of New Age hype about that, and I try to bring this up because different occultists have different perspectives, and I think we have to get out of that mindset. We need to stop arguing with each other and arguing my model is correct, your model is wrong, and just kind of understand each other. What is the common theme that we all work with? However, so often in working with magic, it might be a good idea to see what spirits walk with you, what spirits are especially connected with you. You know, I made a video recently talking about the birth angel, the birth Shem angel. I made a video and I showed it how you can look it up in an astrological app. Very important. I had one part, you have to be careful to look at the, anyways, you have your birth angel, right? You already have a guide, a spirit that walks with you. You have ancestors. Some of you may have a particular deity that calls out to you. So it's all about making those positive connections, those things that nurture you. When dealing with spirits, we have to be very careful, right? Because not everything is friendly. A lot of times people start operating in a spirit model in the wrong way and things can go really bad. So we just have to be careful. Spiritual guides. This is something that spiritual guides is something that you see a lot in Espiritismo, spiritualism. Espiritismo, Allan Kardec, spiritual guides, things like that, your protectors and your guides. So you're not going into the spirit world blindly, okay? So what I recommend is to light a candle to your guides, protectors, your deities, your angels, whatever you're working with. You can mention each one by name, but if you don't know who all is protecting or working with you, it's invisible, right? It might be a good idea to just light a candle to your general guides and protectors and offer a glass of water. A glass of water could be said to refresh your spirits. So it's about maintaining those positive connections. I think it's very good to start your day off. You start your day as part of your daily regimen. You may do a banishing or a cleansing or a you may cleanse your area every morning and then light a candle to your guides, your protectors, your holy guardian angel, whatever. Light a candle to your spirits that are protective and helping you, okay? So anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit about building up those positive connections. And you know, not all energies are the same. We especially want to enter in working with those connections that nurture us. That is, if you're working with an entity, are you getting more clear? Are you getting abundant? Are you having peace in your life working with this entity? Or is it a bunch of chaos and things like that? So again, not everything is your friend. But yeah, you know, making connections, showing reverence, you know, let's say, you know, go to the edge of the woods and leave a little offering to the spirits of the place, the genus loci, working with the spirits of the place, learning to make positive connections, whether that be in your own backyard or in the cemetery, things like that. One thing that I wanted to say is that apart from your personal guides or angel or whatever you're working with, apart from your personal protectors, that you can bring into your home. But I would not bring just anything home with you, okay? When you leave offerings to the spirits of the land, I would do it a little bit away from the house. Are there some woods that are close to your house but not just right there? That might be a good place to start making offerings to spirits because, again, assuming the spirit model is real, which I think it is, leaving offerings to the spirits of the place at the edge of your yard, you may notice more spirit activity in the house. They may see that as an invitation. But I plan to I'm going to make some more videos. I think I'm going to go on Patreon and talk about some of my own private protect. All of my videos on Patreon, like eventually they'll go to everyone, but I'm going to go a little deeper into this. But I just wanted to leave y'all with this thought. If there's anything to bring out of this discussion, just one occultist talking to other occultists, we share back and forth, right? What I would take away from what I'm saying here is that there are three models of magic. In my opinion, modern occultists tend to have a little bit of a bias towards the energy and consciousness models. There's also the spirit model. Okay, so these are the three models of magic that you'll hear. The three models, I actually made a video like 10 years ago on the three models of magic. And here I am 10 years later, I'm still following that there are three models of magic. It's a useful way. We don't need to be restricted by these theories and ideas. That's dogmatic. But it's a useful framework to navigate the world of the spiritual realm and dealing with things like magic. Consciousness model. Thoughts are things. Thoughts can manifest reality, affect reality. The energy model, that you're working with and channeling energy and imprinting it with thoughts. So these kind of relate. And then there is the spiritual model and the spirit model. So these three kind of interrelate. And within the spirit model, I think it's good to begin opening up a dialogue with your spiritual guides and protectors. So your personal, the spirits that walk with you, that protect you, that nurture you. Okay, what I recommend, if you don't know who all your spirits are, have one candle, light it to your guides and your protectors, a glass of water to refresh your spirits, a little incense. I think it's good to begin every day this way. Call upon your guides, ask them to light your path, to grant you protection, and things like that. So begin nurturing those connections and begin listening. Begin to learn to listen to that advice. Now, if things come to you are helpful, that build you up, that make your life better, that's something to listen to. If you're getting communications that make your life wonky, then that's probably not the place. But anyways, I work with a lot of different energies and a lot of different types of energies. And I often go back and forth between different types of energies. But ultimately, your guides and your guardians, your personal angel or deities, whatever tradition you have, I just want to stress the importance of establishing those connections and nurturing those connections, all right? It's something that just like a family member or a friend, you could be separated, and over time you get a little distant, gets a little bit more muffled. It's a little blurrier, right? But the more you establish that connection, hey, I light this candle, grant your light upon my path, help me, guide me. The more you nurture that, the closer you get, the more clear, okay? So anyways, I just wanted to throw that out there to nurture those connections that nurture you. And I think it's good to begin at the divine realm with your birth angel, your guardian angel, things like that, and then work down to the celestial realm and start establishing stuff like that. And then once you have those connections, work with more earth energies, or some people may go the other way. I think it's usually safest to do a top-down approach. But anyways, just throwing that out there. So those are the three realms. According to Agrippa, there are other models. But the divine, not that it's not all divine, but super meaning above celestial, right? So the causal or the divine, the celestial or astrological spirits, and then you have the spirits that are closest to earth, which would mean things like elementals or necromantic shades, possibly, or spirits of the woodlands. So anyways, so I'm just throwing that out there, and then you have your ancestors as well, okay, which could be connected through blood, or they could be connected in other ways, okay? Other types of ancestral spirits, okay? But anyways, and I think it's always good to work with your ancestors as well, all right? So anyways, there's a lot to chew there. We've bitten off a lot with this video, and now we need to chew that. Well, many of you have different opinions. I welcome all opinions in here, and be sure to share your opinions if you have them, and I'll have some more videos coming out for y'all. So that's just a quick video today talking about the 3 main models of magic and talking a little bit about the spirit model. So anyway, so that is my video for today, and I will see y'all in the next video. Hope everyone's having a great day, y'all.